Hey, what's up guys? This video is for section 4.2, which is write an equation in slope-intercept form. And this is a very short version of this lesson. If you guys are interested in watching the full version, you guys can go to my Algebra 1 playlist in my YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and look at a few questions here. And the big idea for this video is to show you guys how to write, not graph. You guys want to write an equation. So up here on the directions, I'm going to circle the word write because we want to write an equation of the line that passes through each pair of points. Now we want to use the slope-intercept form. So first of all, we need to know what that is. Slope-intercept form is when you guys have a y by itself, mx plus b, y equals mx plus b. If you guys see the one up here on the screen, that is the slope-intercept form. So we need two components. We need two things. We need to find the slope of the line and the y-intercept of the line. So we need to find m right here for the graph and b over here for those for that line. So looking at number 10, you guys know that the line is going uphill right here, and I know that when it goes up, my slope is going to be positive. So m equals positive. I need to find the rise and the run. So to find the rise and the run, we start by making a fraction here. And I'm just going to put the fraction, what you need on the top and the bottom, the numerator and denominator. So I need the rise on the top and the run on the bottom. So first, I am going to find 2 points that are on the line. And I do have 2 points on the line. I have this point here and this one. They do give us the coordinates 2, -4, and 4, -2. But we can actually count how many steps we need to go up, how many steps we need to go to the right, and you guys find the slope. So I know, looking at this point, I go up 2 here, and I go to the right 2. So my rise is 2, and my run is 2. So guess what? That is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So my slope equals +1. And notice the line is going uphill, so it is +1. The second step, you guys need to know what is the y-intercept, which is b. Now b is where the line crosses the y-axis. Now here, guys, it's not really clear if the line is touching this line, but I imagine that the line, when it goes to infinity, I can imagine that it's crossing at this point. But you guys can double check. Let's go ahead and use the slope again backwards to know if it is touching that point or not. So if I go to this point here and I use my slope 1, or if I go back, this is better to use 2/2, and I do it backwards. Instead of going 2 up, 2 to the right, I go 2 down, 2 to the left. Well, look what happens here. I go down 1, 2 to the down, and 1, 2 to the left. So this point should be the other points on the line. And guess what? Yeah, it is touching that point that we imagined it was going to touch. So I want to know what is the y value for this point here. So from my origin, I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my b value, or my y-intercept, is -6 because it's on the y-axis at -6. Now the thing is, we want to write down the actual equation of the line. So I'm going to start with the y by itself, and I'm going to do it right on the right side here of the graph. So that is the slope-intercept form. Y is by itself equals mx. M is 1, x plus b. Now here, guys, b is negative. So I'm not going to put a plus minus b or plus negative b. You never put a plus and a minus next to each other. You just put one of them. And if you think about it, positive times negative is a negative. So you guys need to put the minus instead of a plus minus. You put -6. I don't need that one in front of the x, so I'm just going to rewrite it as y equals x minus 6. And that is the equation for the line, the graph, for question number 10. Now 11 is the same thing. You guys want to know what is the equation of the line for this graph. Notice the line is going downhill. Now this one, since it's going down, my slope is going to be negative. So I need to find the slope, and I need to find the y-intercept. I'm going to start with the slope. For my slope, I need my rise and the run. So looking at 2 points on the line, and then we have 2 points. We have 0, 5 and 4, 1. Those are my 2 points. I need to know how many I go down, how many I go to the right. So from the top, 0, 5, I go down 1, 2, 3, 4. Since I go down, that's a -4, and there's the negative that we need. And then I go to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4 again. So my rise is going to be -4, and my run is going to be +4. Every time you guys go to the right, you guys have a positive value, so +4. If you guys divide -4 divided by +4, that's going to be -1. So that is my slope, m equals -1. For my y-intercept, you guys need to find the y, where the line crosses the y-axis. And we can see that it's right here. You guys have the y-intercept at 0, 5. What is the y value for that point? 5. So my y-intercept is going to be 5, and it is a +5. You put everything together. You guys are going to put the y by itself right here, equals m is -1, x, and you guys have a b, +5, so I put a +5 right there. I don't need that negative, I don't need the 1 next to the x. We do need the negative, but I don't need that 1. So I'm going to rewrite this as -x +5. So my equation of the line is a negative slope, -x +5. Number 12, I'm not going to show you guys that because you guys can try that with the homework that I assigned to my class, that I give you guys in my class. But I'm just going to give you guys a couple things that you guys need. First of all, the slope is going to be negative because the line is going downhill. And my y-intercept is right here. I can tell you guys right now, that's going to be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So find the slope, and you guys already have the y-intercept, which is -5. And you guys can put everything together. Now number 14 is different because they don't give us the graph, but they do give us 2 points that are on the line, and we can actually find the slope of that line. We need the slope formula, and the slope formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm going to label my 2 points. My first point is going to be x1, y1. My second point is going to be x2, y2. I'm going to substitute the values into the formula. And notice that I am using parentheses because I substitute some numbers into the variables, and we do have double negatives up here and double negatives down here. So I'm going to change that, and I don't need the parentheses anymore because I don't have anything outside here or here, and I'm going to change that to positive. So on the top, I'm going to have a 0 plus 2, and on the bottom, 4 plus 4. So I'm going to put m equals 0 plus 2 over 4 plus 4. So that means that we have 2 over 8, and this reduces to 1/4. So my slope is a fraction, it's 1/4. Now, here's a bad thing. Since we don't have the graph, we cannot see where the line is crossing the y-axis. But we need the actual y-intercept, because remember that we're looking for the slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form, we need m, y equals m, that's your slope, we already have it, 1/4, x plus b. We need that b. B is your y-intercept. So when you guys don't have the graph to find the y-intercept, you guys need to find b. Now here's how you find b. You guys are going to use the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. You guys are going to choose one point to substitute into the x and the y in your slope-intercept form. Doesn't matter what point you guys use. If you guys use this one and someone else uses this one, you guys will get the same b value. Doesn't matter which one. I like this one because it doesn't have negatives, the second point, and 0 is kind of easy to use because if you substitute, if you multiply anything by 0 is 0, and if you add 0 to anything, it's going to be the number itself. So 0 is a lot easier to use. So I'm going to choose this point. I'm going to have 4, 0. So this one's going to be my x, that one's going to be my y. You already know what those values are. So I'm going to substitute 0 for the y equals, I'm going to take the slope that we have, 1/4. We already know what that is. So I'm going to substitute into the m, 1/4 times x, which is 4, plus b. So my job right now is to find b. 0 equals, I multiply 1/4 times 4. Remember that 4 goes into 4 one time. You guys can divide, and then you guys multiply by the top. So you guys can actually simplify this to 1. Another way to look at it, okay? There's a couple ways you guys can multiply fractions. You can multiply the top times the inside, 1 times 4, that's 4, and then you guys divide by the bottom. 1 times 4 is 4, divided by the bottom, 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I have 1 plus b. You guys subtract 1 from both sides. So -1 equals b. So I know what my b value is and I know what my slope is. I'm going to put everything together. Y equals 1/4 x minus 1. So the equation of the line in slope-intercept form, y is by itself. Y equals 1/4 x minus 1. It has a slope of 1/4 and it has a y-intercept of -1. Alright guys, so like I said, if you guys are interested in watching my full version of this lesson, you guys can go to my Algebra 1 playlist in my YouTube channel. If you guys have a friend or someone that can actually watch these videos and they will help him or her, go ahead and let them know. And if you like my videos, you guys can click that like button. You can also subscribe to my channel. Make sure you guys practice your math, and I'll see you guys later.